Now that Thomas Tuchel is the manager for Bayern Munich, there could be a possibility that they could take some players from Chelsea this summer. So we want to talk about some of the players that could be leaving, which might be shocking to hear this because, like I said, when Thomas Tuchel was our manager, he was adored by almost all our players. Yes, there were a few players that, again, did not enjoy him. You're going to have that happen anywhere you go. There's going to be some players that are not going to like their manager just because they're not getting as much playing time. But that being said, there are some big-name players that could, again, be leaving this summer. Now, the first one is Mason Mount. Now, we all know there's been rumors about Mason Mount already leaving the club itself, whether he's going to Liverpool or some other Premier League team. But the fact that Thomas Tuchel now is the Bayern Munich manager, this could be a top priority for this player because obviously Thomas Tuchel loved Mason Mount. Mason Mount did really well under Thomas Tuchel. He's done quite well almost under every manager, minus Graham Potter right now. But still, Thomas Tuchel could have that pull for Mason Mount to leave the Premier League and go to the Bundesliga, where he would definitely shine. A player like him, the caliber that he has, would definitely do very, very well. And the Bundesliga has its own atmosphere and everything, and I think Mason Mount would adapt to that quite well. The only thing is that he is English. You do not see many English players leaving the Premier League and going to another league. Yes, it does happen, but the Bundesliga is not one of those that you again have a top player like Mason Mount that does leave to go to the Bundesliga. But again, he could open that door with Thomas Tuchel and have a stellar career at Bayern Munich. Most players do when they go to Bayern Munich. Mason Mount would probably do the exact same. On top of that, the second player who I think could possibly leave then would be Mateo Kovacic. Now, he's also on the cusp of leaving this club anyway, so therefore, again, it would not be surprising if he's looking at possibly a move to the Bundesliga as well. Now, there wasn't rumors where he would go just yet, whether he wanted to stay in the Premier League or go somewhere else. But again, same thing with Mason Mount, that he has this connection with Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel knows what he's going to get out of this player, and therefore, again, may want to bring this player in. Now, obviously, we should talk about Bayern Munich and their squad that they already have. Now, we all know that this is already a stacked team in pretty much every single position. Bayern Munich, again, is a great run company or club, however you want to look at it. They're pretty much a company at this point that they're able to just pick players from other Bundesliga teams and keep upgrading their team to get better and better against any other club. Now, currently, they are sitting behind BVB by 1 point, which is maybe why Thomas Tuchel has come in. I'm not 100% sure why Nagelsmann was let go, but still, the fact is that really Bayern Munich already have a stacked team, but bringing some of these players that Thomas Tuchel knows that he can rely on and trust is going to obviously help elevate his time at this club. Now, the third one who, yes, this one would be kind of iffy, which again, we know that he didn't have the best connection with Thomas Tuchel, but has been with Thomas Tuchel multiple times, is Christian Pulisic. Now, obviously, he played for him at Dortmund. He was at Chelsea with him. He could possibly move back to the Bundesliga and go with Thomas Tuchel one more time. And Christian Pulisic, as we know, did really, really well in the Bundesliga at Dortmund. Didn't do as well here at Chelsea. Yes, he is still quite young and has a lot of time to, again, to continue to be this player that everyone keeps talking about. And again, if he maybe goes back to the Bundesliga, that door will open up for him. And again, Thomas Tuchel, great manager, knows what he does in the Bundesliga. Pulisic has played in the Bundesliga, understands the atmosphere there as well, and again, could do quite well in the Bundesliga, and therefore, again, he could also be on his way out. Now, those three players, I think, are the most likely to leave. Now, there's a few other players who could possibly leave, but I highly doubt that would happen. The first one being Thiago Silva. Now, the only reason why I think Thiago leaves is in case he can't get a contract with Chelsea for another year or so, and he would move to Bayern Munich, where I don't think he'd be a key player, but again, he's played with Thomas Tuchel multiple times, played with them in Paris, he's played with them in Chelsea, and again, if he were to move to Bayern, I think, again, he would be one of those rotational players that Thomas Tuchel could rely on. The guy, yes, is old, we all know that, but he keeps playing better than most of the younger CBs in the Premier League itself, and therefore, again, if there's a proper paycheck that comes through from Bayern Munich, that could be a possibility, but I have a feeling that he's going to end his career possibly at Chelsea, if not go back to one of his first clubs and end his career possibly in Brazil, but still, there is the possibility. And the other player who I could see possibly leaving as well, which again, this one I don't think is likely, is Ben Chilwell. Now, Ben Chilwell has done quite well in the Premier League, has done well under every manager at Chelsea, has been one of our best left backs. But again, Thomas Tuchel absolutely adores this guy. Same with Reece James, but Reece James isn't leaving anytime soon. but Ben Chilwell could possibly leave and light the world on fire as a left wing back in the Bundesliga. Let's be real here. He's already done it for Chelsea. He does it for England, and therefore, again, could do it in the Bundesliga as well. And Thomas Tuchel knows what he can get out of this player, and this player is one of the best left backs in the entire world. I'm going to say that right now. You could disagree with that, but again, I think he is one of the best ones. Thomas Tuchel knows that, and therefore, again, may go out of his way to try to bring that player in as well. That one's going to be a little more difficult, but that's still an option that could happen for Chelsea and Bayern Munich. So those are the players that I'm kind of curious and worried about who may possibly leave Chelsea this summer. I know some of these players are already on the cusp of leaving, but again, with Thomas Tuchel now being at Bayern Munich, there is that draw/pull for those players to go back to the manager that they had before that they won the Champions League with. And again, Bayern Munich is such a great team. They are going to be in the Champions League next season. They always compete for their league itself and compete for pretty much any cup that they're in as well. So like I said, any player that's going to be moving to that club is more likely than not going to win some type of silverware next season. And there again is going to be that pull for that player. So I want to know what you guys think. If you think that Thomas Tuchel is going to take some of our players, he's going to pick and choose some of these guys. If not, what players do you think he is going to pick? So again, I want to know what you guys think. So comment down below. I'll get back to those comments as soon as I possibly can. And if you did enjoy this content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. And I will see you in our next video.